Here's how to break down the barrier to shiny hunting with Pokemon's most broken RNG yet. So at long last, after my previous entries introducing RNG manipulation for Gen 3 Kanto, and how it can be used to turn shiny hunting from luck-based repetition into dexterity-based sharpshooting, I feel it's about time we switched gears into the main course of Gen 3, the Hoenn games. Now at first glance, you might think, why bother, right? Isn't this just more of the 10 lines? What makes these games, for lack of a better word, unique, is that under the hood, the RNG in these games is actually so much more broken and busted that it makes Fire Red and Leaf Green look stable in comparison. Emeralds in particular being in such an infamous league of its own that you can't reliably go back to the old-fashioned ways with soft resetting and random encounters. Now why is this, I hear you ask? After all, Emerald in particular is often propped up and hailed as a polished pièce de résistance compared to the new games, right? Now back in Fire Red Leaf Green, you might recall we had to dig out a set of 2 coordinates to prepare for landing on our shiny target. One that first builds up to the initial sequence of booting the game up and jumping into a set instance of the game, with another that builds up from loading into your instance to triggering your Pokemon encounter. The funny thing about Emerald though, is that someone forgot to program the instance loader to move. So you're always guaranteed to land on the same instance every time you reset your game, kinda like Groundhog Day. Now obviously, going into this blind must feel like a stab to the heart, but on the other hand, with the keys to the castle, you'll find this might be the easiest place to drown yourself in shinies. Now just like Fire Red Leaf Green, you're going to want to take note of both your visible trainer ID and your second secret ID. From there you're going to want to download Admiral Fish's Pokefinder, feed it what game version you're using, and your 2 trainer IDs to make a profile. As a start for now, we're going to go for something in the static preset, so ideally, you're going to want to make your earliest target appear by toggling the filter and only spitting out shiny targets using the star square option. Finally, with your target noted, it's time for our last piece of external software, our old buddy Eon Timer. So just like Fire Red Leaf Green, you're going to want to make sure your timer's set to synchronize with which console you're using, set the beep count to whatever you feel comfortable with, but unlike Fire Red Leaf Green, you're going to want to make sure you're set directly in the dedicated Gen 3 mode. Now, because of the broken RNG, this doesn't actually require nearly as surgical precision booting up as Fire Red Leaf Green, but whenever you feel ready, activate the pre-timer, and on the last beep, that's when we get this party started. On the last beep of the pre-timer, you're going to want to do a soft reset this time. From there, you're going to want to reload back into the game into this text box as fast as possible. Where on the last beep, you'll press the A button to trigger the fight with the Zigzagoon. Now, it'll probably take a few lightning rounds of calibration to properly hone in on your target, but eventually, you're bound to figure out